Auzubillahiminash-shaytanir-rajim. Bismillahir-rahmanir-rahim. Assalamu alaikum, my dear students. I am Professor Dr. Zora Nazir Kiani from the Physics Department of Lahore College for Women, University Lahore. I am going to teach you the Semiconductor Electronic Devices MS3 Credit Hour course. And you know that you are discussing the power devices. In the power devices, so far you have studied PNP diodes, the semiconductor control rectifier, bilateral switches, and today we will discuss the last topic of this chapter, that is the insulated gate bipolar transistor. Initially, we will discuss its structure and then we will move to its operation. Now, what is the insulating gate transistor? It is an electronic switch which has got very high efficiency as well as the fast switching. You know that we have discussed the semiconductor control rectifier, and we have found that there is difficulty in efficiently turning off the device using the gate. So we need to use additional circuit to reduce the anode to cathode current below the holding current, to change the SCR from the conducting state to the blocking state. This is of course expensive and clumsy. Hence the insulated gate bipolar transistor, that is known as IGBT, was invented by a scientist in 1979 to address this issue. The variation on the SCR can easily be turned off from the conducting to blocking state by the action of the gate. This device is also known by several other names such as conductivity modulated FET, COM FET, insulated gate transistor, insulated gate rectifier, gain enhanced MOSFET, and bipolar FET. The basic structure is shown for an N-channel device here in this figure. It basically combines an SCR with a MOSFET able to connect or disconnect the N plus cathode to the N minus base region, depending on the gate bias of the MOSFET. The MOSFET channel width is determined by the P region, which is formed by diffusion of the acceptors implanted in the same region as this heavily doped N-type cathode. In other words, the channel length is not determined by lithography of the gate as in case of conventional MOSFET, but rather by the diffusion of acceptors. Such a MOSFET structure is known as the double diffused MOSFET. The double diffused MOSFET is essentially an N-MOSFET. So the main part of the insulated gate bipolar transistor is this lightly doped N region. This lightly doped N region is the main part of the IGBT, which act as a drain of the DMOS device. This is generally a thick 50 micrometer epitaxial region with a low doping of 10 raised to power 14 per centimeter cube, grown on the heavily doped P-type doped substrate. On P-type doped substrate, it is actually low doped n-type material. And this p-type substrate, heavily doped p-type substrate, forms an anode. This lightly doped N region can therefore support a large blocking voltage in off state. In the on state, the conductivity of this lightly doped region is increased by the electron injected from the heavily doped N-type cathode and hole injected from the heavily doped P-type anode. Hence the alternative name conductivity modulated FET. This conductivity allows the voltage drop across the device to minimal in the on state. So here this is the basic construction, P substrate, which heavily doped P substrate which is anode, then lightly doped N region, then there is a P region, and hence there is a cathode. And here you have got gate and the gate oxide which separates the gate from the device, and similarly metal contact to the device. Now this is the output IV characteristic of insulated gate bipolar transistor N channel. You must have remembered that in a simple FET we also get the same type of the IV characteristics. Now here the voltage applied the anode and cathode is kept along the x-axis and anode current along the y-axis. And you can see here that when the gate voltage is 0, then this current saturation is increased, saturation current is very low, but as we are increasing the gate voltage, then this saturation current is also increasing. So if the DMOS gate voltage is 0 or below the threshold voltage, an N-type inversion region is not formed in P-type channel region, and your heavily doped N cathode is not short-circuited to the lightly doped N base. This structure then looks like a conventional SCR, which allows minimum current flow in either polarity until the breakdown is reached. For positive anode to cathode bias, avalanche breakdown occurs at the NP junction, while for negative anode and cathode voltage, avalanche occurs at the lightly doped base region and the heavily doped substrate junction. When gate bias is applied to DMOS gate, for positive anode cathode voltage, we will see that there is significant current flow. The characteristics look like a MOSFET with one difference. Instead of the current saturating to increase from the origin, there is an offset or cut-off voltage of 0.7, just like for a diode. Here there is a cut-off voltage. The reason for this can be understood by looking at the equivalent circuit In this region, not all the injected carriers recombine in the near intrinsic lightly doped N region, which is called base. This current, which is essentially the D-MOSFET current, I-MOS, acts as the base current of the vertical PNP BGT formed between the P plus substrate anodes, the lightly doped base, and the P channel of the DMOS. Hence, the current flown is now given by this relation. IA is equal to I plus the V of PNP transistor and multiplied by the current flowing through MOSFET. The shape of the characteristics look like that DMOS device, and this is the preferred mode of operation of insulated gate bipolar transistor. Finally, if the current levels are too high, the insulated gate bipolar transistors latches into low impedance state like that of a conventional SCR in the on state. This is understandable because it means that gate of the DMOS device has now lost control. The insulated gate bipolar transistor clearly incorporates some of the best features of MOSFETs and BJTs. Like a MOSFET, it has got high input impedance and low input capacitance. On the other hand, in on state, it has got low resistance and high current handling capability, like a BJT or SCR. Because of these factors and because it can turn off more easily than the semiconductor control rectifier, the insulated gate bipolar transistor is gradually becoming the power device of a choice in place of more traditional semiconductor control rectifier. So here I come to end of this chapter as well as discussion on the power devices. Class, I will just ask you to revise your FETs, BJTs as well as these power devices because you know that all these are just combined in one article of power devices, that is insulated gate bipolar transistor. Now come to your Google class for your attendance and assigning the classwork. Thanks a lot.